everyone, and welcome back again to my channel. If this is your very first time, my name is Gloria and I live here in Ontario, Canada. For those of you who are watching, if this is the very first time again, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I share information about Canada immigration as well as life in Canada for a new immigrant. So today we're going to be talking about a statement of purpose, and I'm sure you're wondering, what is a statement of purpose? Okay, so if you are intending to study here in Canada as an international student, you would need to write what we call a statement of purpose. And in today's video, I'm going to cover what a statement of purpose is, how you can write your statement of purpose before you submit your application for study permits. So before we dive into this particular video, guys, I want you to sit back, relax, and we'll be starting right now. So if you see me looking down, it's because I have my notes in front of me so that I don't forget. Again, I am not a perfect person, and I'm not a robot. So if you plan to study here in Canada, seek admission into either a university or a college, your first step is to get your study permit. And in order to do that, you will need to get an acceptance letter from a school. So either a university here in Canada or a college here in Canada, you need to have made your application depending on your course, depending on the program you're looking to take. You have to write to the school. The school will send you a list of requirements, and then once you're completed that, they would request you, will give to you what we call an admission letter or an acceptance letter. With that acceptance letter is what you would need to apply to the Immigration Canada for a study permit. So what is a statement of purpose? Like I said earlier on, a statement of purpose is also known as a letter of explanation, or some people also call it a letter of intent. Is part of your study permit application, which you send to the Canada Immigration for them to process a visa for you to move to Canada. So it is recommended that you write a statement of purpose to help the visa officer to understand why you really want to study here in Canada and decide whether they should approve your study visa application or not. Many Canadian universities and colleges, they also require students to submit that statement of purpose or research statement as part of the admission process. So before you get your admission letter, some schools would require you to write a statement of purpose. So why is it required for Canadian study permit applications? Not all visa applicants are called for a visa interview. Not everybody is. Most Canadian study permit applications are accepted or rejected based solely on the applicant's submitted paperwork and statement of purpose. Most times your statement of purpose will determine, plus other documentation, whether the visa officer will say yes to your application or not. So it helps them to verify that you in particular are a legit student and how well you understand what it means to become an international student here in this country. So research shows that about 30% of people who study, who send in a study permit application, they are most usually declined. But as long as your paperwork is complete and accurate, and you have a strong, I'm saying this again, a strong statement of purpose, there's a possibility that the visa application officer would look into your application. Now let us dive into the SOP, how to write a statement of purpose, because I've gotten questions from many people saying, Gloria, how can I write a statement of purpose? I don't know how to do, I don't know where to start from. This is important. So grab your pen and paper, or pencil and paper, whatever works for you, because you're going to be jotting down notes. And if you want to, you can always pause this video, go back, rewind, and play it again. So the first thing you want to put on a statement of purpose is why you want to study in Canada. You need to make an argument for why you really want to study here in this country. instead of maybe your home country or somewhere close to your country. For example, if you're in Africa, Nigeria, you must give them an argument why not Nigeria, why not Ghana, why not Kenya, why you want to study in Canada, why is it an attractive study destination for you. So some people would use things like Canada is an attractive study destination for so many reasons, one of which is the high quality of education, lower tuition fees compared to some other countries like the US or the UK. I will say UK because I know I wanted to study in the UK and the fees were just too much. Diverse classrooms. This is one or two reasons you can state for wanting to study here in Canada. I hope you got that. So most times you can say it's because it's a diverse country and the classrooms are diverse with people from different countries. That's one of the reasons. Or the high quality of education. So that would be why you want to study in Canada. Now, the second paragraph would be why you applied to this particular university or college. In this paragraph, what you're going to do is you're going to highlight some aspects that influence your decision to apply to that particular school. For example, the school you choose may be highly ranked, they might have had good reviews, or they may be known for their research facilities. Don't say things like this university will help me to achieve my career goals. No, you need to talk about the school, the strength of the school. Why that particular school out of all the other schools here in Canada? You need to give a very strong reason. Now, your third paragraph would be what study program you're interested in and why that particular program. So the visa officer is wanting to understand your motivation behind choosing that particular study program. So if the program you've chosen is related to your previous work or experience, so for example, you did accounting in school and you're coming here to do something that is closely related to accounting, that would make sense. But if you're coming from accounting background and you want to switch to medical, the visa officer wants to be interested to know why that change, you know. Now, they also want to know how this step will equip you with your skills to further your career plan. So if it's with accounting, how this program will help you to achieve that. If you pick a program that does not align with your education, you need to explain very well why you're making this change and how this program will help you to close that gap. Now, if you have a gap in your education or your work experience, this is the opportunity for you to explain now how you use the time. Some people would say that they use that time to care for a sick family member, or they use that time for travel, or they use that time in the farm. Just, you need to explain the reason for any gaps in your work experience or studies. Another paragraph for you is how you will fund your studies here in Canada. This particular part is very, very important. So I've written here that while you need to provide your proof of financial support as part of your study permit application, you need to highlight how you're going to fund this school or your studies. So if you have paid your tuition fee in full, you need to explain in the letter that you have paid your tuition fee in full. If you have only paid a part or a portion of your tuition fee, make sure you explain in this paragraph that this is what is happening. Now, if somebody is sponsoring you, make sure you have a letter from that person saying they are sponsoring you. Also indicate in your statement of purpose that you have a sponsor, the name of the sponsor, how much the sponsor is paying for your tuition. Now, what do you plan to do after your study? It's called your post-study plan. The visa officer wants to know if you are still going to go back to your home country after you finish your studies and you will not stay in Canada illegally after your study permit expires. So in this paragraph, you are going to explain to the officer why you'll be going home after your studies here in the country, because it is assumed and understood by the visa officer that after our studies here, we will still go back home to our country to use whatever things we have gotten from the study here to go and perform other work in our home country. They know that your intention is to stay, but you need to give a valid reason why you'll be returning back to your country. So another example could be that you want to improve your industry in your home country, or you want to set up a business where you employ other people to work, or you want to be something when you go back to your home country. You need to put a reason there. Now, the next paragraph would be if you understand your responsibilities as an international student here in Canada. This does not need to be a different paragraph, guys. You can add that to your other paragraph. So, for example, things like you plan to work part-time while you're studying. You need to mention, if you are going to say that you're going to study part-time, you need to ensure that you mention that you are only allowed 20 hours a week for work as an international student. So you're going to make sure that you abide by that rule. And the next paragraph would be your IELTS. So for example, if the school requires IELTS, that's English testing, you need to let them know that you've completed your English testing, you've gotten your results, and the results will be attached to the letter that you're sending. The next paragraph will be how long. The next question that people have asked me, how long should the statement of purpose be for a Canadian study permit? Ideally, it should be between 500 to 1,000 words. I've seen where people write a lot of stories and it's just all jargon. Guys, you need to limit it to at least 500 and 1,000 words. It is best to avoid going over 2 pages. It's just like a resume. Make sure that it is not more than 2 pages. It doesn't need to be too long. So you need to first plan your outline before you draft your letter or statement of purpose. Make sure you draft an outline. Let somebody review that for you. You also remember, list your academic and professional experience from the beginning. So if it is from 1980, start from 1980. If it's from 1996, start from 1996 to your most current. Now, also focus on your achievements that align with the study program that you're going to be taking in the school. Okay? And do not use technical jargons. Make sure if you are using an acronym, make sure you explain what that acronym means. ETC, etc., IE, that is. Make sure you are writing everything in full. There is no need for all these technical jargons, no abbreviations, nothing of such. Then, this is one thing I always tell people that always ask me questions. Do not lie on your statement of purpose because they will find out. And when they do, you will not like yourself. Then, make sure that you write your statement of purpose in English language. Make sure that it is written in English. And do not ask somebody to write for you. Do not pay somebody to write it for you. Make sure you write it in your own language. And the reason for this is this. It says, I said here that yours is a chance for you to tell your story. Nobody can tell your story for you except yourself. Explain any shortfalls in your application and your reason why you need this study permit. Do not ask anybody to do it. Make sure that it is original. Do not go and copy and paste something you've seen from Google. Do not copy and paste somebody else's work. It's called plagiarism here in Canada and it is not allowed. Before you submit, proofread. That is, make sure you read through your statement of purpose for errors, grammatical errors, punctuation marks, commas, and things like that. Make sure you cross-check. If you want somebody to set up a statement of purpose for you that you will pay, you can let me know in the comment section. So guys, I didn't want my video to be too long and I hope that you did enjoy this particular video. If you gained something from this video, let me know in the comment section. And for those of you who are still wondering or still confused about how to go about setting up their statement of purpose, you can Google statement of purpose for Canada study on Google. Please, I'm begging you, do not copy and paste whatever you see online. Use that as a guide to help you with all the points that I've mentioned on this video today. For those who are my returning subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing and always coming back to watch my videos. If you are new and you haven't yet subscribed, you've watched this video up until now, please go ahead and hit the red subscribe button. And thank you so much for watching. And I make my videos once a week, every Sundays. And if you don't see my video, that means something is up. Maybe I'm under the weather or I traveled. But either ways, I'll make sure I make my videos and I'll bring them to you every week. So until I see you in my very next video, we'll be talking about something great, something good for international students, pardon my English. Until then, stay safe, guys, and bye.